Well, hello there, and welcome to the Spark Your Creative podcast. I am your host, Sharon Burton. I am the CEO and founder of Spark Your Creative Coaching, and I'm so happy to have you with us again today. You may be listening to us on SoundCloud or you may be watching us on YouTube, but we are here giving you great information. And again, I'm continuing the new series that I'm doing based on my book, which is this right here, Creative Sparks 21 Affirmations and Inspiration for Creativity at Midlife. And I thought this was a unique way to reach people and to find out more about the book and hopefully get you curious about buying the book and learning how it can work for you. Today's topic is Affirmation 11, which would be chapter 11. I set and reach my creative goals.
Mm.
And this is a very important chapter because setting our intentions and our goals is important for us to move forward with our creative practice. And it may not be something that people talk about as much. I mean, most of the time it's about your creative passion and getting into the flow.
Mhm.
But if you want to move forward with your creative passion, if you want to make a difference with it, just like anything else, you have to set some intentions and some goals. So I'm going to read from the chapter and then I will introduce our special guest that's with us
Mm.
today. I've been featuring people, creatives um, that are at midlife and beyond in some cases, and they contributed to the book. And I wanted you to hear from them and get their advice as far as moving through some of these topics that we're talking about today. So I will be introducing her in a second. And I'm going to read, as I've been doing, from the book on page 85. And I'm focusing on creative intentions initially. As the new year begins, we all tend to focus on our goals for the year. Goals are always a good way to measure your progress in any endeavor, especially as creatives. When we have a fixed goal of starting or creating a project, we can measure it regarding success or failure. We can answer questions such as, did I complete my manuscript on time? Or did I submit X number of artwork for the call for artist announcement, etc.
Mm.
What often gets excluded in our journey towards creative recovery is the concept of setting intentions. I like the way that Marla Takaba defines it in an incorporated article about intentions. She says, quote, intentions allow you to focus on where you are in the moment, to recognize and live your values, and to raise your emotional energy, which in turn raises your physical energy,
Mm.
unquote. The fundamental difference rather between setting goals versus intentions is time and the focus on the completion of a task. Goals are set for completion of a task for the future with steps that help us get there. Intention is based on the present. For creatives, it helps define how our values help us go about creating and sharing our creativity. Setting daily or weekly positive intentions for our art can help us reach our goals, but it also helps us to be mindful and aware of how our thoughts may affect our daily actions towards them as well. So,
Mm.
that's a little from the book. And now we're going to
Mhm.
hear from one of the creatives that provided a testimony in this particular topic, and that is Gretchen Miller. Welcome
Mm.
to the podcast, Gretchen.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Sharon. It's so great to be here. Yeah, I always enjoy speaking with you and all of your creative energy and all of that. So thank you so much. Um,
And
yeah.
some of you may recall that Gretchen was part of
Mm.
my book launch, my virtual book
Oh,
launch party.
mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
I'm so happy to
Yeah.
have her again. And she's been on the podcast for some other topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So share with us a little bit about who you are. I know who you are, but share with the
Mm-hmm.
audience about who you are and the artistic work that you do.
Sure. Yes. So I live in Northeast Ohio in the Cleveland area, and I my work is as a registered and board certified and licensed art therapist. And I've been practicing art therapy for little over 25 years. So I feel like
Wow.
I definitely date that midlife sort of time frame, which is weird, with that. But I've worked with youth, adolescents, and also adults, particularly related to trauma and loss or grief, and different mental health challenges. And art, that process of using the art in my therapeutic work is so important to really help people process or express things that may be really difficult or challenging to do with just words or talking alone. So in my day-to-day job, I feel like there's definitely that creative aspect to my work and my sort of passion towards service, and helping others. But then also on the other side, like when I'm not sort of like working art make my own art making and creativity, creative practice is so important, not only for my development as a artist and staying connected to that part of myself, but also I believe managing stress and trying to avoid, burnout and, all of those things. I think when I get sort of removed from my own art making, uh, things start to feel and go like a little bit wonky on my end, and so that is really central for my overall I feel like being, it's not
Yeah.
just like a, oh, that's nice to do. I feel like it's kind of a key component that is included. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, and that is a part of the book too, about having our creative practice serve as
Mm-hmm.
a form of self-care for us. And
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
know for me, it's that way as well, with all the different hats that I wear. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
creative coach, but I also am a practicing artist,
Mm-hmm.
visual artist. And even though I do share my work um, via exhibitions and that sort of thing. I
Mm-hmm.
also, there is a component of it that serves as a, self care and,
Mm-hmm.
in this wacky world that we live in, uh,
Yeah.
a way to have a sense of balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So
thanks for
important.
mentioning that.
Yeah, no, no, it all like connects and goes together, which I is such the beauty of your book, and there's so many components and layers to the affirmations, and it really touches on all of sort of those things to kind of um, be reminded about. Yeah.
Yes, and sometimes, a lot of and that's why I wrote the book, because
Mhm.
there is pieces a lot of the creativity books I read doesn't get into things like that.
Mhm.
They don't get into what we're talking about today, even that much about goals. It's just,
Mhm.
a lot of it has been on other aspects, which is needed. But,
Mhm.
there are other pieces to this whole thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, we're talking about goals and
Mhm.
intentions, and um, you are quoted as follows: "Setting goals and intentions has absolutely impacted my creative practice, whether this is
Mhm.
through creating visioning collages to help me
Mhm.
clarify and explore personal or professional goals, numerous 365 creative projects, or New Year art making with altered
Mhm.
books and projects to help ground and support creative intentions and possibilities for work, life, and my relationships," which is on page
Mhm.
87.
Mm.
So the follow up on that,
Yeah.
how do you initially set your goals and intentions for your creative practice?
Mhm.
Whether it's at the beginning of the year or on a quarterly, I don't know how often you do that.
Mhm.
And then as a follow-up, how does that show up through your visual practices, such as your visioning collage
Mm.
and altered
Mhm.
books?
Yeah, yeah. While you were speaking at the beginning, I thought about a essential part of the process that I think sometimes can get overlooked with intentions or just creating in general, and that is the preparation, or so the planning, and that being part of, I think, the creative process. And it's not, maybe, getting out sort of the materials and getting right to like making and creating and that, but that setting the intention or gathering kind of what you need or letting it percolate, and emerge, and then sort of following that with like intention. So I feel that part of that process for me really begins with the preparation and getting things kind of ready or I don't know, poised, to receive or hold sort of the intentions or that
Mhm,
space for that. And that can be something commonly often that I do annually at the beginning of each year. Um, and then throughout the year as well, is it's important to sort of continue to check in. And I feel like that's what's awesome about the art, especially if you're making intention kind of focused or inspired art. It's a tangible kind of image or object that you can have visible to see and remind yourself when maybe you're like, kind of getting off the path, or you need a break, or something like that. It helps kind of be this creative compass to guide you. Yeah.
It's interesting that you were talking about the materials. I'm working on an art project now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting because it was on my quote unquote bingo card to do.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Uh, but and I had planned for it, but I didn't plan for it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, completely.
It's
Yeah.
just sort of emerged as I've been working on it. So when I think about my goal setting and everything for, this time, I wanted to do a unique art presentation, a
Mm-hmm.
unique art piece that
Mm-hmm.
was so different than what I do. I'm a collage
Mm-hmm.
mixed media artist, and this is mixed media, but it's using a chair. I've never used a chair.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so it's been interesting how I planned and executed the goal of getting this done,
Mhm.
and how the the process of the materials was very different. It was like,
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it
then
just
it just
organically just started to unfold.
it was started
Yeah,
unfolding, and
yeah.
then I had to clarify some things,
Mhm.
for example, is this something that's going to be displayed with the curator, and,
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, do people actually sit in the chair?" And I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
even though
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
uh-huh.
simple question, but I didn't realize that they were. So, I had
Mhm.
changes, as far as the execution of the materials, but
Mhm.
I got the materials and I have everything, and, I'm planning and getting it done. Whereas when it comes to my business or about other creative projects, I'm a little more formal. So I will
Mhm.
set the intention, I will set the goals.
Mhm.
Um, Now you use some materials like the visioning collages
Yes,
for
yeah.
you. How does that work with
Yes, yeah. So, I also, am really drawn to using, collage and mixed
Mhm,
media in my work, and, visioning collages, when I've created those, I use a lot of, like, magazine photo collage, and, use words or symbols or images that sort of connect
mhm,
to what I sort of would like to invite and bring sort of into my life, my work, my relationships, health, whatever that sort of might be, and just again, that reminder of it being visible and looking at that, it's amazing, like, once that is created and that collage is sort of done, looking back on them, I'm always like, "Wow," like, that really like, I had like, kinda what you were saying about, but you don't know, sort of
yeah,
like, it's like you kinda have, like, this idea and the intention, but no idea of how it really, will, kind of present itself,
myself.
like, fully, yeah. So, collage has always been a media that, it has really lend itself, to that for me, and I feel like now I probably use more, printed sort of papers and designs or like handmade paper, some magazine kind of stuff as well, but that's kind of shifted. I feel like my altered bookmaking
Mhm,
around intentions is a little bit more I don't know, like abstract in the sense it doesn't maybe use like the magazine photo collage pictures and things like that. It's more like colors and backgrounds and textures. And I feel like, I don't know, that's like just how things have evolved, over
mhm,
I mean, I feel like the altered books that I create at the beginning of each year, this will be the 17th kind of year that I've done sort of that practice, which totally doesn't even seem that long. And it's really um I don't know, inspiring to see how that's like shifted and evolved, throughout that time. My way of going about sort of that process, but the preparing part is always super super important. Yeah.
cool, cool. So
Yeah.
how do you stay accountable to your goals? How do
Yeah.
you stay focused and, do you have an accountability partner? Do you check in
Mm.
with yourself every so often? How do you
Yeah. Yeah, accountability, yes, is very, Oh gosh, central. I feel like my own kind of personality can be very like follow up and like being
Okay.
structured in that, and I feel like I can do a decent job of like holding myself accountable,
Okay.
but that isn't always the case, and I think with art making or creative practice, especially when there's a lot of other things going on, it can be easy to just sort of let that kind of go to the wayside a little bit, or just become disconnected, and that gap
Mhm.
maybe gets bigger and bigger. And so be I feel like online connection, and whether that's viewing or seeing what others are doing, including yourself, really inspires sort of me and keeps me engaged. And then it can inspire me to activate like my own kind of goals, or pick up sort of where I might have left off before. And so having online community, whether that's more passive, like through kind of visiting different social media platforms, or people that I follow, artists sort of work, or having an organized sort of group too is so valuable also. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
feedback and some good ideas for people that might be looking for accountability in some way,
Hmm.
because we all need
Yeah.
it. And I'm a lot like
Yeah.
you. I can be accountable to myself, but one of the things that I am trying to turn a new leaf on is to
Mhm.
really be a little more intentional in my plans and what I
Mhm.
want to see as an outcome and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
also wanted to ditto the collage. I am a collage artist. However, I can switch from artistic collage
Mhm.
to more of therapeutic style.
Mhm.
One of the
Mhm.
ways I enjoy working with collage is through soul collage, that kind of
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
and,
Yeah.
so I have found that to be quite interesting, and it's also a great tool to, connect your goals and some of
Oh,
the things that you
mhm.
want to see, so, I'm not as much into vision boards, and I
Mm,
wanted to ask
mhm.
you about that too. With the vision collage, is that like a vision board, or is
I
it
would say,
is it set
yeah,
up?
I would say similar, definitely in that same wheelhouse,
Yeah,
of using images to convey, a goal or something you'd like to maybe see manifested in some sort of way.
mhm,
And putting it together, in a way that, can be visible, or kind of displayed, to remind myself about sort of that. I mean, I think I remember one time doing a visioning collage when I was sort of at a crossroads about, am I going to keep doing what I'm doing with like my work as far as the place, or, or is there something more? And so I just, chose like images that just really connected sort of to that unknown, or what
mhm,
maybe I could sort of um see sort of doing, or maybe not. I mean, everything was um sort of a possibility, and just kind of putting it all into an image. And then, wasn't until later that I was like, oh my gosh, like that totally connects. Like I had no idea, like that, so just a really helpful way to have a different perspective.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here today and
Mhm. Oh,
sharing
you
your
are
thoughts on
welcome.
this. Um, Share with everyone, how can people learn more about your work and what you do and,
Mhm.
follow you? What are some ways that people can find out more
Yeah.
about you?
So, my personal website, which is gretchen-miller.com, has pretty much, I feel like it's like a home base for, all the different social media handles or projects, my art therapy work, all of everything sort of like encompassed sort of on that site. On social media, I'm engaged on Instagram, and usually my handle for that is just Gretchen Miller, like all one word. And yeah, I think my website is the sort of main tool for, just learning more. And also just I feel like with the timing of all of this, like it being the new year, I've actually started, prepping for my new sort of altered book for 2025. And the one of my additions for that process is having a group that's online of other people who want to engage in that practice. And so if anybody is interested in registering or signing up for that, that's totally kind of open sort of right now. We don't really start until the end of January, and then there'll be check-ins like throughout the year, just with
Oh,
that accountability piece that you were
so it's
kind of
not just
mentioning.
that's just throughout the year, so you could really sign up anytime, huh?
Yeah, yeah, there's the beginning, the first two times that we meet at the end of January is really focusing on starting the altered book and the intentions sort of setting and all of that. And
Mhm.
then every kind of 3 months, like we just kind of have a check-in and a meetup online, like to kind of just revisit, what I don't know, what we put sort of in motion at the beginning of the year. Because I think in previous um sort of, I don't know, processes, I might sort of put it out there, like my, intentions on the book, and then it wasn't until the end of the year maybe that I would like really take time to reflect, like, oh, how did this work or not work? But kind of revisiting throughout the year, I think has been really, really helpful. And it's awesome to do that with a group of other creatives as
Yeah,
well. Yeah, because we
good
don't
idea.
we don't have to do it alone,
Right. No,
Yeah.
and that's something to keep in mind for anyone who's listening or
Mhm.
watching that, when you start the process of setting goals and intentions,
Mhm.
don't feel that you have to do it in isolation. You can
Yeah,
have
exactly. Yeah.
another, peer or someone to kinda work with you on a
Mhm.
ongoing basis to just check
Yeah.
and
So, so helpful. Yeah.
we'll have your links and everything in the show
Okay.
notes, but, just thought
Yeah.
I'd ask you.
Yeah. Thank
Alright.
you.
Just wanna thank you, Gretchen, for once again
Oh,
for being
yeah.
a part. It's always fun to have
Problem.
you.
Yeah, it's always great to be connected to what you're involved in. It's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. And for those that are listening and watching, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or the SoundCloud. And please leave a comment. If you've read the book or read the chapter, have some thoughts on it, feel free to leave some comments. Leave a comment on, of course, like, and leave a comment on anything that Gretchen might have said or just any questions about setting goals and intentions. And we look forward to seeing you at the next episode,
Mhm.
focusing on creative sparks. Thank you,
Mm.
and we'll see you next time. Take care.